Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, Johnny Lone. In this episode, I haven't brought on any regulars because um, uh, who knows what happens. But as for our guest, she's from Nashville, Tennessee. She is a broadcast journalism consultant, business owner, entrepreneur of Success Lab Mount Juliet, and winner of Wall Street Journal Leadership Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Michelle Price Johnson.
Hello, what a great introduction. Can you come with me to a lot of different places? Can I hire you for that?
Maybe. So, how's life?
It's good. I mean, all things considered. I mean, we've all broken out of quarantine here, and well, I say quasi, and and as the world is, but everything's well. How about yourself?
Okay. My life's going great. I just got back from doing something and just waited a few weeks for her to head back from them. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So, have you been up to much recently?
I'm sorry?
Have you been up to much recently?
I mean, that's an always thing. Always. I'm always up to a lot. Most of it, I can tell people. Some of it, I have to kill you if I tell you. But yeah, always.
Cool. So, tell me more about what you do for a living.
Okay, I do a few things. Mainly, I am a broadcast consultant. I've been in broadcasting for a while. And during COVID, that changed for me. And because where I used to fly quite a bit out of Nashville to wherever, to my stations, with COVID, when the world changed, as you know, like if you're at a radio station, we're all sharing the same microphone. And so that doesn't work post COVID, but the show must go on. So just having people having companies learn to do audio from home. And then the towers still break and all that other kind of stuff. So just I had to learn to, instead of going out on site, bring that all in house. And that just makes a life of Zoom meetings, which I love better because I don't have to fly as much, but that's the meat of what I do. And then you said about Success Lab, because my consulting stuff changed, I had to hire more team here in Nashville. I'm right outside of Nashville. And that I was looking for space to have my team work so they weren't all working around my living room table. I know my husband, didn't want that. And so I ended up looking for co-working space or office space. And when I didn't find anything, because at that time, all of this, my space started just before, like we launched January 2020, Success Lab. And then we did a big meet and greet February 2020, and then we were closed March 2020, And so, but we just did that out of necessity. I didn't want to have to drive downtown to work when I live out in the suburbs. So I was like, hey, why don't I put a space out here and then we can share it with other people? And then it kind of works, so that I do that. And then I do, because of my life, I have gotten the opportunity to speak different places about because I teach sales and finding a way to communicate with people in a respectful way. I started to get the opportunity to speak to people about networking and how to boost your confidence for sales. But then that same boosting your confidence works for real people. How to network for sales, but learning to make good connections also is necessary to find out where your kids should go to primary school. You need to know those things too if you're in a new place. And then also about that clue. Michelle, how do I get from here in my career to here, or I want to start my new business, or I want to do this. How do I know how to do those things? And that was something that was always a part of my life for years. And I made my website, michellepricejohnson.com, just so I could send people when I'm speaking someplace, or if somebody catches me and they want to have lunch, or they ask the dreaded, can I pick your brain? Which I really hate when people say that, because I envision a pterodactyl or something picking your brain with its beak. I'm like, I don't want my brain picked. So I wanted to put all my information that I had and all the tips and things that I learned on a place so that I could send people. And that's kind of how Michelle Price Johnson got born. And that's been since about 2015. So I've been doing that for a while, and all of them are pretty good things. That's the long version of the short story.
Okay, great. So, Asperegoose has mysteriously appeared into the recording studio. Is there anything you want to ask Michelle?
No, I'm just, listening. So just because I'm late, so what do you do? So I'm sorry.
How about the replay?
Do the
I
short
do
version.
I do broadcast consulting. I do broadcast consulting, and I own a couple of businesses.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So like for what kind of businesses have you done work? Like for international businesses, for local businesses?
I'm sorry?
For what kind of businesses have you done this consulting? International, local, major, small?
I am a broadcast consultant. I worked with Westwood One. We did the contracting for CNN's radio broadcast, Meet the Press, David Letterman show. And then I've worked with stations across the country, across the US. I launched a station in Toronto, actually. And I've done a little bit of international consulting because of that. Let's see what else. Just kind of all over. I've done everything. I started at a local station in my hometown, and then I got an internship at CNN, and then I just started working as a program director at station. I was on air, that I became a program director, and then just in learning, because I'm a marketing person, I'm a behind the scenes person, but I loved broadcasting. I kind of wanted to understand the formula for success. How do we connect with people? How do we make sure our listeners stay in tune? Because that's the name of the game. You've got to always keep people on your dial, and so learning to do that, and making sure that, even though, like, most people don't know, there's two teams inside of any broadcast building, whether it be radio, whether it be television, and probably whether it be print. And it is the sales side, whose job is to market and to sell. And those are the people in, I don't want to say they're the suits, but that's kind of what we call them sometimes, even though now I'm a suit. And then there are the creatives, the person that's on the air, even on the news. News people are technically creatives because they're crafting the right way to say whatever it is. Of course, your local radio DJ or your talent on air, they're the creatives. And many times those are two different camps. And being that creative that loved the business side, I kind of was the quasi. And so I just really focused on that. And that helped me speak to the business side creatively, if that makes sense. And that just kind of propelled me forward with a lot of the success that I've had.
Okay.
Great. So what kind of clients have you mainly worked with recently?
Which ones? You mean broadcast?
Yes.
Well, let me say this, because I have a non-disclosure, because most of the time when somebody hires me, they're in trouble. I don't really say the names of my client, like my current, I can't really, but I can say that I have clients in DC, clients in Chicago, clients in right now. I'll just stick with DC and Chicago because those are big. If I go smaller, you'll be able to know. But yeah, all over. I don't have any international clients at the time, but that's always a thing, but it's mainly just like well, I can say this, one of the most recent things, well, the current thing that I'm handling right now is a client whose tower has gone down. And what a tower is, if you've ever seen like a terrestrial station, and that's a brick and mortar radio station, you'll see those towers. They look like the Eiffel Tower, kind of. They have lights on them. And in a rural community, if the tower's too low, people who are out shooting deer will go out and shoot the light on the tower. And when they shoot the light on the tower, planes will hit the tower. And if planes hit the, so there's a requirement that your light has to always be seen. And so we're out now scrambling to get the tower light. And towers are probably they're tall if you've ever seen one. So I have to get someone to go up, climb the, put a new light up, all that kind of stuff. So that's something that I'm strategically doing today. That was what I was doing before this call, getting an engineer in place to fix a light on the tower because somebody had shot it out, so that's a day in the life.
Oh, that's great. Have you ever thought about doing what you do to an international scale, or just stay within US?
As I said before, I've worked in Canada, which is, fairly close to the US. I am available to anyone, but I will say right now I'm transitioning that because I used to travel so much that it's hard because there's one me, and a lot of the things were very physical. But now what COVID did was made me have to structure how I do things. So now I make sure that I have people in places like if like this tower situation, it's in the Northeast United States. My tower guy is in Texas. And so he is who I trust. He'll contract somebody out in where the tower's out, and that I don't have to go there. He doesn't have to go there. So that makes life so much, but that's something that we had to learn, like everybody had to learn to do because of COVID, and when the travel restrictions were in. Now that they aren't in, who wants to have to travel to fix the tower? You know what I mean? And so we still do some of the same things. So that has opened me up to be able to consult more stations, but I myself am focusing on my big picture. I've been doing that for probably 10 years. So me going forward, it is more about fixing, I would say, the tower in people to make people be more successful. I've been making businesses successful for so long that my focus now is really on helping people to be more successful.
Okay, that's great. So other than broadcast journalism consulting, what else do you do along the side?
Well, see, other than that, and then of course, like I said, Success Lab. Then there is like MichellePriceJohnson.com, as I said before. And I have been working with people to help them get their goals done. Like having won that Wall Street Journal Award, that was back in 2017, I think. That just kind of put me in a spotlight where people wanted to know, well, how did you do this? Like I'm from a small town in Georgia, Albany, Georgia. There's like 5 high schools, 4 high schools. When I say 4 high schools, small town situation, that sounds big, but there was probably 80,000 people there, which on it's medium size, I guess. But the path I took, and I've had so many people want to have their own paths, especially now after COVID and stuff. So many people that were working 9 to 5s want to do what they're created to do, what they have dreamt of doing. And then in my particular sphere, I have gotten so many people contact me who are making 6 figures. Like right now, I'm working with an attorney for a major company. She's trying to get out because she wants to do something else, And so that's kind of where MichellePriceJohnson.com came from, because we offer people ways to learn how to network. Like the main thing, and I'll just add this tip that I'd love to share. The main thing there's 3 things. Most people don't have what they really want because of connections. They don't know how to network and get those meaningful connections with people. Confidence, they may know that they want to do something, but they don't have the confidence to actually do it, or believe that they can really get the success that they want. They want it, they can envision it, but they really don't believe they can do it. And there's a way you can do that, and then I say that clue. Some people want to be successful, but they don't really know what they want to do, or they have an idea what they want to do, but they really don't have the research or the information to get there. So that confidence, connections, and clue, those three things are what I focus on michellepricejohnson.com. And mostly, like the people that are listening now, that's what they care about more. They don't care about how many stations I've done, but just things like you should brag and office politics. And I say this about, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go along the long route in your answer, but if you're listening right now and you're at work and you are trying to get a boost in your job or even a boost in your pay or go to a different job or a different level, the one thing that you can do, and people say, like, I don't like to play office politics. If you are playing office politics, you've already lost. That is a game that is playing. It's like you're at work, you're on a football field. And I know you guys have different football than we do, but still, you're on a field, people are running, they got muscles, they're going to get goals. If you're standing in that field saying, I'm not playing this game, you are just going to get run over. And nobody wants to get run over. And so learning to play that game is so imperative because you are on the field if you are alive, you know? And so just getting those type of things out to people and showing them how to play the game, you don't have to be snaky and brown nosy and all that kind of stuff, but you can succeed understanding that you are in the game. So you have to play it if you want to win.
Okay, fabulous.
Sorry. So when you say that, when you ask me about what am I doing now, that's what I'm doing now, trying to educate people in those areas.
Yeah, that's great. It's amazing what you're doing. So in terms of being a consultant, your success lab, everything that you're doing right now, what thing specifically do you like about doing all the things you're doing?
Honestly, this with Michelle Price Johnson, I'm launching this system called the Catalyst, and that is where the whole networking and the confidence and the clue, just the things of helping real people, that's where we're in right now. That's my focus right now, and I love it because I get to see people change. You know, I get to see people believe in themselves and do their things. The tool that I have for confidence is called Doubt Killers. And it's just when you're talking to someone and they say, Michelle, well, I can't do it because I'm from a small town, or Michelle, I can't do it because I'm a woman, or Michelle, I can't do it because I'm Black, or I'm overweight, or I got kids, or I'm old. You know, there's so many things that people say that they say they can't do something, but all those things are barrier. You know, in business, they call it a barrier to entry, and that's the thing that keeps someone from entering. Like, if you wanted to open a radio, if you wanted to open a television station, there is a large barrier to entry because you've got to have money for equipment, for a tower, for people. You know, you've got a lot of operating costs. But if you wanted to open an internet radio station, there's a low barrier to entry. You need a microphone, or you do what you guys are doing now. You just flip your camera on, record it, and put it on YouTube or whatever, or put it on your own website. So there's a very low barrier to entry. People oftentimes create high barriers to entry to what they want to do, and it's all in their heads, you know, and making people understand that the barrier to entry to what you really want to do is a lot lower than you believe. That is something that I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, having that moment and then talking with someone, or somebody watching a video or hearing an audio that I've done, and they're like, oh, I get it now. That, you know, just like working in broadcasting and stuff, I've done those things because when I started, I wanted to be on the air like Oprah Winfrey, you know? And then when I did that, I found that I like being behind the scenes, you know? So those things I've done, and yada, yada, making businesses make more money, you know, that's cool. Making people have more fulfilled lives is way better, you know? And that's what I want to do forever.
Great. So tell me more about your online course called The Catalyst.
Okay.
what are the foundations or what things the Catalyst does cover?
Well, like as I just said, it's about networking. I should do it this way. Anybody that's listening right now, if you want, you can go to michellepricejohnson.com and I've got a free audio. It's called How to Do Everything You Want. Okay. And
Okay.
that is clear, how to do everything you want. And it basically talks about the three core pillars of the Catalyst. And it is networking, how to show you how, like many people feel like if I like, and this is something that I've done live in a course. If I said, tell me who in here likes networking, nobody will, a few people will raise their hand, but mostly nobody does because they feel like they have to sell themselves and nobody wants to sell themselves. And I'm like, well, you know what? Selling yourself is illegal in most cities. You know, it's called prostitution in most places, and maybe not Las Vegas, but in Amsterdam, you know, but most places selling yourself is illegal. You know, networking shouldn't be about selling yourself. You know, it's about creating meaningful connections. It's about, you know, how you've met someone and they were a light to you and they were interesting to you, and then you furthered them, you wanted to see them win. It's about being that person, you know, and how you learn to connect with people in a way so that they want to see you win. And that isn't done by shoving a card in their face. You know, if you met Elon Musk, say in an elevator, it just so happens, and you wanted him to know you. If you went to him and said, "Hey, I'm Michelle, and I do this, 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 and I do this," you know, if his security guard doesn't like, you know, elbow you out of the way, you know, he may stand there with the glassy eyes until the elevator opens and he can run for his life, you know. But many people think that's how you have to network, and it's the opposite. You network by creating meaningful connections. And learning to do that is a skill that I've taught. And that's what the networking part does. The confidence part, as I said before, is like helping people get past that barrier to entry. I always talk about don't tell yourself no first. Even if there was something like if you wanted to be an astronaut and you had a 1% chance of becoming an astronaut, learn what it is, learn what you've got to do and go for that 1%. Because if you tell yourself no, you have a 0% chance. And there's a big difference between 1% and 0% in life, because you can still get what you want out of that 1%. And so always go for it. And then the last part, the clue part of it, is knowing what you're created to do and then knowing how to get it done. A lot of times many people want to do what somebody else did. If I saw this person playing basketball and they made $1 million, I want to play basketball. If I saw this person create, I don't know, if I saw this person create a game and I'm a gamer, I'm gonna now be a gamer, you know, and that's a good idea. But if it's not what you are designed and created to do, you can do it, but you'll get to a point where you don't want to do it anymore and you're unhappy. And honestly, you are not going to be as successful as you could be if you were doing what you were designed to do. You know, all of us have DNA to do something. And that something, I believe, is where our best chances of wealth and finance and happiness, and just you'll want to do it longer. You'll want to do it when you're not getting paid anymore. When you're 80 years old, you'll still be doing it. You may be doing it slower, but you'll still want to do it. And that's where you should be, you know? And so helping people to understand that connections piece, understanding that confidence piece, and then understanding that clue, that connection, you know, that understanding of what they're called to do. That is what the Catalyst is. It's all those three things together. And we've got like tool, and this is not some long, like I've seen courses that were thousands of dollars and this is a 20-week course. You've got all blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants that. We want answers. We want to know right now, you know, and how the Catalyst is designed is to give you the answers right now. There's bunches of videos. There's like the stuff that I'm talking to you about right now. It's just in this type of format where it's the answers. You click if you want to know more about how to network for office politics. I've got a video for that lasts probably 8 minutes. You know, if you want to know how do I network at a barbecue, how do I go to a networking event, and how do I, if I'm afraid to talk, how do I get myself into the center of the room? You know, and there's different things. Even in the networking part of it, I've got something called "Hello to Here's My Card," and it's something you can put on your phone so that when you meet Elon Musk in the elevator, you'll have a template of how you should address that, you know, and that you can keep on your phone, you know. And so it's just covering those things that I think make people have better lives. Like I can't teach someone how to be a brain surgeon, but I can help you understand that you can be a brain surgeon. You need to learn how to network to find out what, you know, the things that, it's just the things that you need to know to be able to do the things that you're called to do. That's what the catalyst is. Very long answer to a very short question, but I hope it's helpful.
Oh yes, that was very, very helpful. I love how you went into detail with everything about the catalyst. It's just amazing.
No, absolutely. And this is a life's work for me. It launches April 15th. So I'm not sure when this broadcast is going to be out, but I still say whenever, go to Michelle, get the freebie stuff first so that you can see if it's going to fit you. But when you go to michellepricejohnson.com, and hopefully there's a link somewhere, you can get that free audio, which is how to do everything you want. And that is where you get I say the blinders taken off. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. I shouldn't be trying to stuff my card in somebody's face as soon as I see them. Oh, that's what I've been doing wrong. And then the catalyst will show you all the things that should show you how to do it the right way. Do you know what I mean? So that's
Oh yes, yeah. So where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
Honestly, I would love to be able to have 20 years. Hopefully, I'm still like young and vibrant, you know. But as for my family, I want my family to be healthy, you know, all that stuff. But you mean, I'm assuming you mean work wise and life wise. I'd love for the catalyst or whatever product I'm working on to be helping people. And I'd love to be able to look back and see 20 years worth of people that I've helped. I can look back and see 10 years worth of companies that I've helped, but I want to see people that I've helped, people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'd love to be able to see that my life impacted someone in a way that it helps them get to where they want to be.
Great. And I think that's all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Michelle, talking about.
Sure.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay tuned for more.